Hey guys, my name is Mark, and on this channel we talk about passive income and making money online. Now on my other YouTube channel I've been monetized for a while now and it's making a regular monthly income, but it's not always been this way. I made a few mistakes which if you avoid, you can get monetized much quicker than I did and you can start making money sooner than I did. So my first mistake was I made my videos way too long. I was under the impression that everybody on YouTube or everybody that's going to access my video or videos will watch from the beginning all the way to the end, and I would have some videos in there that were like 40 minutes long, an hour and a half sometimes, showing us talking before we started their driving lesson, thinking that people will be interested. People are not interested in that kind of stuff. Most people want to get into the juicy part of the video, and you have to remember there are lots of other videos out there on YouTube. On your videos, if you're just there talking too long or taking long to get to the point, people are going to tune out very quickly. Cut the bits that are not interesting, cut the bits out that people are not going to watch, and then you'll see that your channel will start to grow. The other mistake that I made was I made my thumbnails way too complicated. If you see most of the channels that do well on YouTube, their thumbnails are very basic, but my ones were kind of complicated with lots of text on them explaining what the video is about and trying to get people's attention. But really you just need a good clear picture of what the video is about, and usually that's enough, and then a good title to explain what the video is about, and usually people will click on it. If you have too much text or too much stuff going on in the thumbnail, one, it looks kind of like amateurish. People are going to think that this is not really a good channel or professional channel, so they'll kind of skip by. So my advice to you is when you first start, don't make your thumbnails too complicated. Don't do a lot of text in them. Keep them as simple as possible. That way you're going to attract more clicks. Another mistake that I made, which was very costly to my channel's progress and to my channel's growth, was not being consistent. This was something that I learned this was something that I kind of knew I had to do, but it was hard to be consistent when I didn't see results straight away. But after learning that this is a long-term game and this is not something that's going to happen overnight, it became a lot easier to be consistent, knowing that things are going to start growing in the future. So when you first start your channel, it's going to be really hard to stay motivated and consistent if you don't see any growth. But I promise you, if you keep going and if you keep being consistent, you are going to see some results. Luckily for me, I did see it. I watched a video that told me this and I listened to it. Then that's when I started being more consistent, and then that's when I started seeing more results. But if you don't know this, you might feel discouraged and maybe give up, or have one video and then wait for months and then have another video. Don't do it like that, because you're not gonna get any traction that way. Be as consistent as possible, and that way your channel will start to grow, more people will see your videos, and before you know it, your channel has blown up and you're getting monetized. So this mistake kind of leads on from the previous one of not being consistent, and this one is not batch filming. Now, batch filming is basically when you do a bunch of filming in one day and then you can publish or upload those videos to be shown on different days or different weeks. I didn't do this at first. I was making each video each time, so I would go out and make a video, post it, and then go out again, make another video, post it, and that's very time consuming. Instead, what I started doing was I'd go out, I'd spend maybe a couple of hours a day, or not every day, but I'd go out for a couple of hours and film a few videos and come back and edit them, and then that way I had lots of videos ready to publish throughout the weeks or the month coming up. That way I'm not having to constantly go out there film for every week. I've filmed in one day, sometimes most of the time it's less than a day spent filming, and then I've spent a few hours editing those videos, and then before you know it, I had like lots of videos that I could upload over time. One of the other mistakes that I made, which I think a lot of people make, is comparing myself to other creators. And a lot of the other creators that I was comparing myself to had been on the video making journey for way longer than I had been. And this was discouraging to me, because I would see the numbers that they're getting and I'd be like, oh man, why can't my channel be getting those kind of figures? Not realizing that these people had spent years doing this, hence why they've actually built up that community and built up a following, and YouTube knows what their channel, what their content is about, so YouTube pushes it more. And if you compare yourself to other creators, it can be very discouraging. And what I would recommend is just kind of sticking to your own lane and understanding that you're going to actually do it in your own way, on your own terms, without having to copy anybody else or compare yourself to anybody else. It's good to get some inspiration from somebody who you might like how they do their work or how they do their videos, but comparing yourself to them is going to be very, very damaging in terms of motivation, because you're not going to be motivated to do that well, because you're thinking, oh well, I'm doing so much work, but they're doing way better than I am. But if you look at the videos that they've got on their account, most of them have got hundreds of videos, whereas you might have only a few. So you can't really compete on that level until you put in the hard work, until you put in lots of videos onto your channel, and then maybe you can start looking at what you can do better. But until then, don't compare yourself to them, because they're on a different stage of their journey. You're like just starting and they're on a different stage. So I'll definitely recommend you not to compare yourself to other creators when you're starting out, and understand that this is going to take time and it's going to be on your own lane and your own terms. That way you're not going to be worried about what the other person's doing. Focus on your own thing, focus on your own journey, and before you know it, your channel will start to flourish in its own way without you having to worry about the competitors. And what you will find is a lot of people that are going to start watching your channel or following you or subscribing to your channel are going to like the way you explain things rather than the way that another person explains things. So don't then think, oh, the way that person's doing it is so much better than I am because they got more subscribers, whatever. It just means it will take time for people to discover you, and they'll like the way you might explain certain things. Even if you're talking about the same thing, do it in your own style, do it in your own way, without having to copy or compare yourself to anybody else. So this video was about the mistakes I made on my YouTube journey early on. But if you want to know how I grew my TikTok account really quickly, check out the next video. So my name's Mark, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.